Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the Calibrate Tools channel. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know you had a long weekend. Hey, Perry Girl Life Notes. How you doing, Perry Girl Life Notes? Come on in and let's talk today. We're gonna talk about pretty much maintenance, home maintenance, things you should look for throughout the year to keep your home in order, to make sure that it's in good working order, and most of all, to make sure that you're safe, right? Because a lot of times we overlook a lot of things in our homes that are that'll keep us safe. Smoke detectors, for instance, carbon monoxide um, detectors, things like that. Things we take for granted. So in this live today, we're going to talk about pretty much some maintenance tips that we should look for when it comes to home repair. Perry Girl Life Notes. Okay, you hear and see me now? Good. Glad you can hear and see me, Perry Girl Life Notes. Glad you're in here. Glad you're in here supporting. Please hit the like button. If you get a chance, help spread the good news. Right, this is the good news. Calibrate Tools and DIY. Um, I'm on here to give you the good news, show you how to do things, and get you a little more handy than you were before. All right. So today we're going to talk about once again. We're going to talk about home maintenance, home improvement, um, things to make sure that your home is in good working order, right? And we're gonna dive right into this. All right. So the waffle, how you doing, the waffle? Yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't, they take things for granted, right? Smoke detectors, carbon monoxide. How many times have you guys heard of stories where people they they passed away in their own garage or their own home asleep peacefully, obviously, right? It's carbon because of carbon monoxide poisoning, right? Or something like that. Or a fire broke out and they were asleep. Well, because they didn't hear any kind of alarm or anything to alert them that something was happening, right? So there's things like that you got to look out for when it comes, especially if you live in an area where fires are prevalent, right? You got especially in like Northern California, places like that. So we're going to go over some tips and things to look for in basic general home maintenance. All right. Really. Perry Good Life Note said Bahamas people they died recently. Really, in the Bahamas, some people died in the fire. Interesting. Oh, carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah, that stuff is dangerous. You don't even know what's happening. You just pass away in your sleep. Yeah. And so, you got to be careful with that. Okay. So let's jump right into it. And I'm going to go down a list. Oh, in a resort. Really. That sounds like a big lawsuit, but yeah, that's unfortunate that happened. How recent was that, Perry Good Life Knows? That happened, you said recently. How long ago was that? A couple months ago or something like that? You never really hear about that stuff happening in those resorts over there. But they probably got the insurance to cover that, right? Hopefully they do. Yeah. All right, guys. So number one, let's talk about that. I just mentioned it. Carbon monoxide safety, right? You want to make sure you check all of the detectors in your home, your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide detectors. Um, See what model it is. You don't want a model that's too old, right? You said at least 2 weeks. Oh man, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Yeah. So once again, you want to check those things, right? You want to check those things to make sure that you're safe. Okay. Also, another thing that's very much related to that, electrical safety. You want to make sure that all your outlets, your sockets, and all that stuff. Especially if you live in an older home, you want to make sure that they're grounded properly, right? I just did I just did some work on a friend's home. I replaced one of their sockets, and it wasn't grounded. I think the building that they lived in, it was built back in the 40s. Okay, and whoever did the electrical, probably it happened several times. They didn't ground a particular socket, um, so that can be very dangerous, right? So you want to go around and check your sockets, get a little handy there, get a screwdriver, take that plate off, and look for that ground wire, that green ground wire or that bare copper wire, right? And see if that thing's grounded. All right. So electrical safety is very important. All right. So let's see what else we have here. As far as money, right? You want to make sure that Purdy Do in the house. How you doing, Purdy Do? Good to see you. Several people were sick, and I think 3 or 4 died. Wow, that's you know what? I think I heard of that happening. That's once again, that's very unfortunate that happened, but you know, carbon monoxide poisoning, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so okay, we talked a little bit about safety. What about insulating your house? Because a lot of times we're losing so much money because the air is escaping from the house. You know what I mean? Or the heat is escaping from the house. So we want to make sure that our houses are insulated properly, right? So we waste a lot of money every year due to improper or faulty insulation. All right. So you want to make sure that your house is insulated. You want to, especially in the winter, right? In the winter time, that's the time where you want to look out for these things. Okay. So you can buy inexpensive insulation from like Home Depot or something like that, and go around your house and insulate the house properly, right? So heat won't escape in the cold times, the winter times, and cool air won't escape in the summer, right? Perry Girl Life Notes, great time of the year to do windows. Absolutely. Can you modify, or if you are in a rental? You know what? That's something that you probably have to take up with your landlord to see if they'll allow you to do certain things, because possibly they can deduct it from the rent, right, or something like that. If it's because if you're living in like a slumlord type of situation, you're probably not going to get anything done. So you're probably going to have to do it yourself. But yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to do some more research into how, when it comes to repairs and you living in a rental, how that works. Okay, good question, Perry Girl Life Notes. I'm gonna look into that. So insulation is very important. We talked about electrical safety, making sure your outlets are grounded and all that good stuff. Carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, you want to look for that. All right, very important things you need to look for when it comes to home maintenance. Nowadays they have things to make your home smart. They call them smart homes, right? They got thermostats to that adjust the temperature of your home automatically, right? You don't have to get up and turn a dial or nothing like that. So that's another way you can upgrade your home. You can look into more smart devices, right, in order to keep money in your keep money from in your pockets, right? So that's another thing. Thermostats when it comes to air conditioning and all that, and adjusting the temperature of your home as well. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Here's another one. How many of you have Perry Good Life Notes? Can you modify if you're in a answer that question. All right. How about your appliances, right? If you have a refrigerator and it's not cooling, what could be the problem? Right? If you have what else? You have a washer dryer that's having issues. This is the time to look into that stuff, right? Get that stuff repaired. Sometimes it's simple fixes, right? Like with a refrigerator, sometimes you just need to thaw it out, turn it off, let the ice melt. But sometimes it can be more complicated. You can have a condenser or something like that, or the coils or the filters need to be vacuumed out. You might want to vacuum the filters so the air can get in. With your refrigerator, sometimes you need to unclog the condenser, right? So the air can actually come in and cool the refrigerator. And that's a common problem when it comes to appliances, like refrigerator problems, not cooling, my washer and dryer is not drying, stuff like that, right? Very Good Life Notes. How will you know if the thermostat needs to be changed? Well, I would say you would know the thermostat needs to be changed if it's getting cold, and it keeps getting colder and colder and colder. There's no limit. There's no limit set on it. The limit's broken, or and it's not stopping the cooling process or the heating process. Okay, I'm gonna get more into appliance videos and HVAC and stuff like that later on down the line. I've been meaning to get more into that stuff. Pretty do. It varies from state to state, but some states, if you can justify having to do the repair yourself, you can get reimbursed. Absolutely, pretty do. That's why I say look into it. Talk to your landlord. Look into the laws of the land there and wherever you live, and see what the laws are behind that. Right? If you do work yourself, you should get reimbursed, in my opinion. Otherwise, why do it? Because if the landlord doesn't do it, then they're actually violating their contract. They're breaching the contract that they made with you to provide the you know comfortable living conditions. So yeah, do the research on the state that you're in about that. Absolutely. Thanks, Purdy Do. Uh, Here's another one. How many of you ever thought about this? Cleaning your kitchen exhaust fans. Cleaning your kitchen exhaust fans, because these fans, they remove odors, steam from the kitchen while you're cooking and doing all that stuff. Like over the stove, where you turn that switch on, you hear that fan. It sucks up all those fumes. Well, that stuff gets clogged up as well. You might want to remove the screen like there and clean that out as well. Wash it out, clean it out, hose it out, whatever you need to do, so the filtering process can stay efficient, right? Because even filters need to be cleaned, just like I talked about with refrigerators, right? The filters on the back of those, the coils need to be cleaned. Even the HVAC system outside, if you have an outside HVAC system that sits on a slab, those coils, even on the roof, those coils need to be cleaned as well. So you might want to hose those out, scrub them out. So that could be a reason that your house is not heating up or cooling down, is because the coils on your HVAC, just like in a refrigerator, it's not clean. You got to clean stuff out. Filters need to be cleaned as well. Okay, after a certain time. All right, let's see here. Seals of the fridge can cause ice buildup. Yes, seals. Absolutely, seals. You need to check seals and all that stuff. And if you don't know how to do that stuff yourself, just call the pros in. Have them look at it. Right? Have them look at it. Grease buildup. Absolutely. If you use a lot of oil, fry a lot of food, then that stuff is gonna get into the atmosphere. It's gonna build up in your filters and all kinds of stuff. Right? Simple Green soak works absolutely. Simple Green, I think you mean soap, works wonders. Yeah, even in the shop, the metal shop, machine shop, welding shop I work in, we use Simple Green to clean all kinds of metal and stuff like that. So if Simple Green can clean metal, it can clean whatever you got going on in your house. All right. Simple Green is a go-to cleaning product, and they're not paying me to say that. Actually, Purdy Do, are they paying you to say that? Purdy Do, talk about Simple Green. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but it is a good product. We use it a lot to clean stuff. Where I do a lot of metal work and stuff like that. Okay. All right. What else here? What else here, guys? What about the exterior of your home? You know, Especially in the summertime, you might want to think about, giving your house a good washing, a good cleaning. We say the summer because the weather is usually the best to do these things, right? To do these tasks, these maintenance tasks. So you might want to pressure wash your home, right? Pressure wash the walls, get all the dirt and dust build up off it, and give your house a nice facelift, right? Your garage doors, your driveway. You might want to pressure wash your driveway. I know some good pressure washers out here, and they love to do it. I mean, it's like Purdy Do. LOL, no. uh, well, you might want to see if you could be an advertiser. I'm just kidding, Purdy Do. Very good life notes. Window seals, dust buildup causes allergies. Absolutely, absolutely. When it comes to house maintenance, that is a big thing. You want to check the seals on your windows and doors and all that stuff, not just to not just to let air in, keep the air in or out. You just want to make sure that they're clean, right? Purdy Do tried to get a free paintbrush out of Purdy Brushes though. Purdy Brush, is that an actual brand? Because with a name like Purdy Do, I think that's actually a catchy brand there. You might want to think about using that name for a product or something, or a brand, Purdy Do. You know. All right. So what about your roof, guys? We talked all about everything else. What about the roof? Well, of course you want to be able to inspect your roof, right? You want to make sure that there are no leaks or anything like that, any broken shingles or loose shingles. And if you have like a chimney or anything like that, you want to make sure the chimney's clean, right? I'm not really a chimney dude, but you want to make sure that thing's clean as well. Okay. And like I said, the summertime is the best time to do all of this. Very Good Life Notes, cleaning your fans. Absolutely. I mean, if you don't clean your fan, that, first of all, it's nice to have a fan, ceiling fans and all that, but after a while, that thing gets dirty. I mean, you look on the top of the blades and it's full of dust, and it kicks that dust all over the ceiling. And if you have popcorn ceilings, your popcorn ceiling is going to look filthy. Like if you don't clean your fans on a regular basis, your ceiling fans, even just the regular house fans, you think it's cooling you, but it's also, if it's not clean, it's blowing all that dust at you and polluting the atmosphere. You can't even see it. And if you have allergies, man, that can be a living hell. Yeah. Top of the line. All right, Birdie Do. Rain gutters. Absolutely. Rain gutters. I was looking at something, how someone was cleaning their rain gutters. You can actually take a blower, the blower people use to blow leaves, a leaf blower, and get up there and on your roof and just blow the leaves out of your gutters. Real easy. It's not hard at all. Pretty Do. I used the drone to look at my vent stacks last week. Wow, you had to use a drone. Oh, you put the drone in there, and what did you see? That's very interesting. Plumbing vents, that is. Okay. Was it okay? So how did that go? Because all I have is one of these. I forgot. It's like an inspector. It has a little. I don't know what I did with it, but you can look in the dark spaces around, because it has a little light on it, and it has a flexible tube, and it has a screen. What do you call those things? I did a video on it. How can I not remember? Roofs. You should recruit someone to spot you for roof inspection. Should never be alone. That's kind of funny you mentioned that, Paragirl Life Notes. I at the shop I was at today, I went on a roof because the sunroof flew off. We don't know how it flew off. We were down in the shop and we heard this loud on top of the roof, and we thought somebody was on the roof. And we looked up, and the sunroof, one of the sunroofs, you have several sunroofs in there because it's a pretty big shop, warehouse type deal, and the sunroof was off. It's like it just flew off. So me and another guy went up on the roof and we looked at it. He kind of went over by it and he looked at it, and none of the other sunroofs were off except that one. And we were kind of wondering, because the thing, it's not light and there was no wind blowing at all. So it was kind of strange, something mysterious going on there. All right. Birdie Do. He said he got a 4K and he was inspecting the caulking. He felt comfortable getting within 2 feet of it. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. You must have had some good control with that drone, because I don't know how big of a space the drone was flying in. All right. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you could have really crashed the drone against the wall, against the surfaces of the wherever you were inside, right? Pretty Dude. That's interesting. You got some good hand-eye coordination with those controls, huh? Yeah. So yeah, you want to inspect your roof. You want to make sure that the shingles aren't, like I said, the shingles aren't loose. You don't see any holes or anything like that. you know, because things fall on roofs, right? And you don't even know that something fell on there. You could have been like at work and something fell on the roof and cracked and damaged the roof. Next thing you know, you got this big leak from, your house is leaking, and now you got to pay for all that. So you want to periodically inspect your roof, not just everything else. Okay. If you got a basement, you want to inspect the pipes. You want to inspect leaks in the pipes as well. If you got a sprinkler system, you want to inspect that. Um, for instance, if you turn your sprinkler system on and it's not, there's no pressure, it's just like a small little trickle of water coming out. That means the pressure system has been damaged somewhere. So you want to just go around and look, and most likely it's a leak somewhere else, right? So you just want to go patch that leak. All right. What about this, guys? If you're into trees or something like that, you like trees, you like gardens, you want to be able to inspect your trees as well, right? Because your tree, that's part of the mystique, okay, of the decor of your landscape are trees, right? So you want to inspect them and make sure that they're in good working order. Hate ladders. Pretty Dude says he hates ladders. It's easy to see with a metal roof. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The roof I was on today was not a metal roof though, but actually, a metal roof is not going to get damaged as quickly as like Spanish tile shingles or anything like that either, right? But the thing about metal roofs is they get pretty hot, and they can make the place pretty hot too if it's not insulated properly. Yeah, so if you got trees in your yard, you want to inspect your trees, right? You can call a what they call an arborist, people who specialize in trees. They love trees, and they actually study trees, and they can tell if your tree is healthy or not. They can actually go around your yard and tell if your tree is healthy or not. So yeah, so that's very interesting. I never thought that would be on the list, but yeah, it's part of your landscape, right? All right, what else here, guys? Of course, you want to clean your yard up. You want to do a little spring cleaning on your yard. Who doesn't like good yard work, right? It's good exercise. Raking leaves, mowing the lawn, gardening, whatever you're into. And it's good to do this before it gets too hot, right? When the peak of the summertime hits, you want to make sure that your plants are in your yard, and everything is well taken care of, so it can stand the heat. All right, what else we got here, guys? All right, we talked about HVAC systems, right? You want to make sure, like, all right, pre-summer, you want to turn on your HVAC system, make sure it's working properly, so you don't get caught with your pants down in the middle of the summer and your AC breaks down. So you want to do a periodic inspection of it. Like I said, clean out the filters and all that stuff, and make sure it's working well. Make sure it's cooling well and all that before the summer hits. Because man, they got people falling out, passing away out here because of these heat waves. Okay. Um, if you like I said, landscaping. If you're really into landscaping, and you might want to, if you like a nice lush green lawn, okay, a good heat wave can wipe that out. If you're not watering your lawns, you're not, keeping it fortified with the nutrients that it needs to be fortified with. It's not going to stay that way if you don't take care of your lawn. Don't take care of your grass. Purdy Duke comes with another tip. Purdy Duke says water heaters need a periodic draining to maintain efficiency. Absolutely, Purdy Duke. Yeah, check your water heaters. Okay, you want to make sure those things are working well, as well as the wiring on your water heaters, the piping on your water heaters. Make sure that stuff's not leaking. Paragood Life Notes: prune your hedges. Prune your hedges. There you go. Get those hedges looking nice and neat. All this stuff adds to the curb appeal of your home. Okay. All right. talked about cleaning your gutters. What else? What else, guys? Any more tips on that? Yeah. So, guys, it's all about consistency over time, right? You don't want to get caught with your hands down when it comes to home maintenance. Okay, you want to make sure that all the major things that you should look for taken care of during the if you live, especially if you live in a seasonal area. You know, when it comes to even pests, right? Insects, spider. Oh, I was just about to say something about that. Very Good Life Note says spiders love unpruned vegetation. Yeah, a lot of insects do, right? It's like anything else. If you leave something not unkempt, if you leave your yard unkempt, if you leave your house unkempt, all the pests seem to like those kind of environments, right? And depending on the part of the country you live in or anything like that, you got some pretty dangerous pests, right? You got, black widows and stuff can start making a home in places that are not organized, right? You got a lot of wood stuff laying around, or if you kind of got the country living thing going on, man, those spiders will get up in there and make a home. The waffle, there you go, the waffle too. Look for wood rot on jams. Absolutely, yeah. Especially on your door jams and anything like that, man. Especially in like a rainy place where a lot of water hits. That wood can rot with the extreme changes in temperature, right? Hot to cold, hot to cold. So you want to look for that as well, because hey, man, you got termites as well. Termites can be building a home in there. Next thing you know, you wake up and your house is full of termites. You didn't even know it. How do you fix a leaky metal roof? Good question. Well, a lot of metal roofs, that's really thin metal, right? So if you don't weld, over it, or you probably want to try to patch it or something with some liquid metal. I forget the brand. It's like a liquid. They call it liquid metal, but it's like you can patch metal holes like cracks and stuff in metal with it. Or if you're a welding type of guy like me, I'll take a small piece of sheet metal, maybe a 16th of an inch thick, slap it on there, and just tack weld that thing. You know what I mean? Put it right back on there. The waffle too. Spiders love bugs. Of course, spiders love bugs. But do you love spiders? Is the question. You may not love bugs, but spiders are there to eat the bugs, and that's just part of the cycle of life, the cycle of nature, right? But do you love spiders? Do you want them in your home taking care of the bugs for you? That's the question. Pests, pretty do. LOL, pests. I'm living on 5 acres. You're not doing pretty bad for yourself, pretty do. 5 acres is nothing to sneeze at. Just watch the skunk run by. Man, hey, that's some living there, man. That's what I'm talking about. Just sitting back on your 5 acres and you're watching what they call the critters run by. There you go, pretty do. Props to that. Yeah, so if you're concerned about pests, have pest control come out there and spray the area. Spray around the house, spray the important areas. They know what to do. They know where to find the pests, because once again, the pests, as much as they're part of the ecosystem, and they do have their role. And, like if you look at a spider, right? Like a friend of mine, she has a spider right by her door, and it's not the biggest spider, but it's in the web, and spiders have that kind of look, right, where it's like kind of, imagine if you were like an insect and a spider's prey, and you see that big thing coming at you with the legs, and well, just go watch that movie, The Fly. You know what I'm talking about, The Fly. But they have their role, right? But if they get out of hand, they can be dangerous, right? Some of those spiders, especially like the brown recluse and the black widows and stuff like that, even some smaller spiders, they can really they can actually kill you. I mean, depending on the state of your health. If you're not a healthy individual, or if you're a small child or older individual, they can be pretty dangerous there. So you want to Make sure that you don't have any dangerous pests hanging around, right? That's where pest control comes in. Okay. All right. What else? What else do we need to look at in terms of home maintenance? All right. Home improvements, stuff like that. Okay. If you live in an area where there's, like, say in California on the West Coast, where there's a lot of fires, um, how do you prevent that? I mean, over here on the West Coast where I am, as you know, if you watch the news every other month or every, it seems like there's a fire and it burns down thousands of houses. People lose their homes. Pretty do. Thinking of doing a YouTube video on trapping one, a skunk. Wow, that would be interesting. Let me know so I can watch it, man. I'll give it a thumbs up. I'll definitely give it a thumbs up. You ever trapped a skunk, Purdy do? What's the process of trapping a skunk? And has the skunk ever sprayed you? And what does it smell like? I don't think I ever been sprayed by a skunk, but I don't know if I want to either. Yeah. And what do they eat? And what do skunks eat? What's their favorite food? Do they forage for food? Like, do they eat stuff in the garbage cans like bears do on camping grounds and stuff like that? Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, if you live in an area where fires are prevalent, you want to protect your house from fires, right? So the Waffle 2, radiators and their valves. Should you do anything for the summer? Yeah, I think you should check. I think you should check all valve when it comes to valves, any heating element or cooling element. You want to check. You want to check them. Okay, you want to make sure they're in good working order. Okay, if you want to make sure that the valve is in good, however it's supposed to work, you want to make sure it's in good working order. The Waffle 2. I'm not an expert on radiators and valves, but I would assume that you definitely want to check those. All right, especially in the winter. Pretty do live trap with wet cat food works good. Wow, wet cat food. Skunks like cat food. Interesting. All right. And then when they eat the food, how do you trap them? How do you trap them? So yeah, if anybody has anything to chime in with the Waffle 2's question about radiators, um, feel free to comment on that. Okay, because it depends on the part of the country you're living in, right? You may have different, if you live in a colder area where the winter is pretty harsh, then you're talking about things like that. I live in Southern California, so it's pretty much the same all year round. Moderately warm, not too cold. It does get pretty cold there sometimes, but it's not like living in like Montana or something like that, or northern Michigan or something. You know. But guys, once again, you invest all this money in your home, and you want to make sure that it's maintained properly. And especially if you're thinking about moving later or reselling it later, you want to keep your home in good condition. Pretty do. It's usually a winter thing, but if you had a humid spring, drain your compressor. You hear that? Drain your compressor. All right, thanks. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Purdy do. And just like, compressors have to be drained. That's pretty much universal. All right. Appreciate that, Purdy do. All right, let's see what else. What about having a backup plan? Say, something happens with the grid goes down. Anybody want to tell me what you should have? Waffle 2, Northeast cold winters. Absolutely, absolutely. I used to live northeast New York area. I know how cold it can get. Matter of fact, I'd say Minnesota is one of the coldest places I've been. That place was no joke. Perigirl Life Notes, seasonal flush and checking fluids is a must, maybe during oil chart change. Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So once again, guys, we have to be able to foresee emergencies, right? Like say you're sitting there watching your favorite show and everything, just the power just crashes. What should you have as a seasoned call Elon Musk? Okay. Perigirl Life No says emergency kits. Yes, emergency kit. I don't know if Elon will answer the phone. I actually called Elon myself. No joke. I actually called Elon. The secretary wouldn't let me through to him, but I had a real question for him, a real pertinent question, but it didn't happen. So I like that attitude, Purdy do, where just call them, man. These people are human beings just like us. But yeah, if the grid goes down, you want to have a generator on hand, right? Something that can handle or power your whole house. Okay. They got some generators. You can get some good deals on generators. You should always have one just in case. And if you're really, really, really into, I'm not a prepper or anything like that, but you might want to look into, solar, having a backup solar system. 3 days of water. Absolutely, guys. You never know these days, man. I mean, I'm not a doomsday guy, but you got to be prepared. You don't want to get caught by surprise when this stuff happens, right? Because there's certain things that are out of our control that can happen, but if we prepare ourselves, we don't have to be in such a bind, right? So you can have a generator, like the Waffle 2 says. You want to have water, food, supplies. You don't want to touch those. Okay. You want to keep those. You want to start. You want to be prepared, pretty much. But like I said, I was talking about solar. You got your solar system can power your house. You have a good battery pack system set up there. That's another way. Okay. Keep yourself safe. Yeah, I also think you want to have an alarm system and possibly install a camera system as well, because these times can get pretty crazy and people can get pretty desperate. Perigirl Life Notes, PBJ, absolutely. You got to have at least a 8-month supply of peanut butter and jelly. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like peanut butter and jelly. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay. That stuff will fill you up. Okay. And make sure you have a good freezer or a freezer or two as backup, like especially if you're a meat eater, you got to make sure that meat stays good. And if you got your generator to make sure your freezer's working, then your meat will be good. All right. And all your other perishables. Okay. So we don't want to just think about the aesthetics of a home. We want to think about, okay, can I survive here? This is my home base. This is my home base. The Waffle says, love PBJ. Yeah, that's the staple right there, man. PBJ. Peanut butter and jelly. Strawberry or grape jelly? Which ones you like better? Strawberry, grape, or apricot. They got all kinds of flavors now. All right. All right. Here's another thing about when it comes to emergencies, and things that can happen that are outside of your control. If you have a family, you want to invest in a plan. Like just sit down with your family and say, okay, if this happens, if that happens, this is where we're going to go. Just like, I'm sure if you live in an area like Oklahoma or the Midwest, and where there's a lot of tornadoes, right? I'm sure every family has a plan to go down. Like once you hear that siren, everybody knows where to go, no matter where they are in the house. Right? Nobody has to come looking for you. You hear that siren, and you run for the basement, or you run for that special place that your family set aside to keep you safe from that tornado. You don't want to get caught slipping. So the tornado is one thing, but it lets you have, I don't know, a civil war or something like that, or or the grid goes down or something. You got to have a plan for your family. Everybody should know where they need to go for safety. That's right. Zap that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Appreciate it. Perigo Life Note says tuna. Yeah, tuna's good too, especially in the little packets. You know. Waffle 2 said all jelly's good. I hear you, man. I hear you. Apricot. Okay. Yeah, I like apricot as well. So, like I said, guys, you got to have that one food that won't run out so quick, and that you don't have to, that you can prepare right away. Right? It's a quick, semi nutritious meal. You know, there's a lot of sugar in that jelly, so you got to kind of watch that, especially if you have diabetes or anything like that. You kind of watch that. Yeah. Always have that emergency plan. Just like they tell you in the finance world, you should have a 6-month emergency fund, right? In case you lose your job. Well, you should have a plan for yourself and your family if, as they say, SHTF. And you guys know what that means. If you know what hits the fan, okay, and it's all about survival instincts. So you want to make sure you keep your house in order, have an alarm system, have a camera system if you have to. So Purdy do. I don't know if you say you got 5 acres. You must live out in the country somewhere. Okay. I mean, even like if you're living out there by yourself and there's not a lot of people around, where you have to walk like 2 miles to see a neighbor or something like that, you want to make sure that you can take care of yourself. Right? So we talked about smoke detectors. All right, but we also got to talk about, keeping yourself safe from the outside as well. Okay, you want to make sure all these things are in order to keep yourself comfortable through the hard times and through the good times. So let's go over that. Okay, you want to make sure you got your smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors in order. You want to make sure that you have your HVAC system in order. You want to make sure you got your roof in order, no leaks, no holes. Okay, like they were asked about metal roofs. Get up there and patch that thing. Find some metal patch, or get a thin piece of metal and weld it up. Okay, that's why it's good to learn a trade skill. So you can do these things yourself. You don't always have to come out of pocket for somebody to come out. Because they're going to charge you just for coming out to your house to do it anyway, right? Just for the trip over there, they're charging you, right? I mean, if you know some skills, you can do it yourself. Welding is not really, I mean, there's levels to it, obviously, just like everything else. But basic welding, tack welding and all that is not hard at all. Okay? You can watch YouTube and learn some things. Okay? So make sure your HVAC system is up. If you got a swamp cooler, and you're living out in the desert somewhere, make sure that thing's working too. All right. Yeah, guys. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about some home maintenance tips that you might want to keep in mind, not just for your home, but actually for yourself and your personal safety and your personal comfort. When it comes to like the summertime or, heat waves, and this applies to winter as well, winter times. Make sure all these things are in order. You guys gave some pretty good tips on here today, and I really appreciate you guys coming on here. Thank you. I appreciate you, Waffle 2, hitting that like button. Man, I appreciate all of you guys. Okay, coming on here, giving some great tips. It's not just about me. I like to interact with with you guys. It's not just about me spouting information. It's about me asking you questions, just like you ask me questions. I'll ask you questions because I don't know everything, and we all learn together. And you know, that's what the Calibrate Tools and DIY family is about. Okay. So, guys, be safe out there. I'm glad you guys got through the weekend, you know, and we're able to show up here today and support. And I hope everything is going great in your lives and you're progressing on whatever you have going on. And just, this is the secret to life, guys. Stay consistent. Okay. Consistency beats motivation, because motivation is about a feeling, right? Feelings come and go, but consistency does not. You stay consistent regardless of how you feel, and you'll be further along, guaranteed. Pretty do. LOL. All my closest neighbors is 50. That's not too 50 yards away, but you got 5 acres. Why you supposed to be like off, like they're supposed to be like 2 miles away, man. You got 5 acres of land. You probably got cattle. You know, you're out there lassoing cattle and all that stuff out there, huh? Pretty do. Yeah. So, guys, once again, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, and hope you guys have a great day, great week. Look out for the next video on Thursday. Okay, I'm doing a project on a 53-foot trailer, converting it and retrofitting it to become a welding training center. So I'll just, I give you a little peek into what I'm doing on that. Long lots. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.